All right, day 19. Oh, uncomfortably loved. I can't believe it. And quoting Tammy this morning, yes, day 19 without Dan. Isn't that? I'm just yelling in the morning, and I don't speak anymore. I'm gonna squeeze myself in somewhere in there because I feel neglected. It's anyway. But love you guys, and today day 19. I have the pleasure to have Jürgen from Germany, who's an awesome friend, a very, very close partner in, we can call it partner in crime, or more like partner in technology and branding. All right, Jürgen, it's all yours.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good midnight, wherever you are listening and watching us. So glad, so privileged to be here with you for 19 days already. And that you want to disappear, Dan, that you stepping back, this is really very respectful thing to do, yeah? We sometimes think ourselves to be the most important person in the planet, which is really, really not the case eventually. So yeah, it's my pleasure to share a little bit my ideas on words and the heart. And should I read the first line? What goes into someone's mouth does not defile them, but what comes out of their mouth, that is what defiles them. And that's from Matthew 15:11. I call that the smart book or the good book or whatever. So eventually, if you are not a Christian or a God believer or whatever, there is a lot of smart, or what is a good word, wisdom. Let's say it's a wisdom word book in English. And I hear a lot of these wisdom words that are helping us. So for some reason, we can close our eyes, but we cannot close our ears. So what we say, we can't run away. The mouth cannot run away from the ears. So whatever we say, what we speak with our mouth is always coming to our ears, into our minds and brains, and is processed. We cannot avoid it. And that's the thing few people, nearly nobody understands. And I had a hard time to understand that. For example, if you are learning a second language, for me, that was English. What did we do? Every time we would do some step, we would repeat the words 1, 2, 3. So by repeating the word, hearing my own word, I have a chance to learn. And I would say we are programming our whole system, our mind, our soul. We are programming it. Yeah? Other people can program us. But guess what? If somebody else is saying something, it is less relevant and less powerful compared to when it comes out of my own mouth. And that's happening with politicians. Just as an example, they can say whatever they like, truth or lie, just by repetition. By saying it over and over, they start to believe. In my opinion, there are few liars in the politics arena because they have repeated their words so many times, they believe it. They believe it. So they are not acting. They have programmed their brains to believe it. And that's the funny thing. Our ears, we cannot close them. We hear everything. And in our brain, our mind, the processing can't be stopped. Yeah. If you would like, or I invite you to do an experiment with me. Your brain, your mind is processing what you hear. You have no chance to stop it. You have no chance to stop it. And now I'm doing a little experiment with you. You know, I'm an engineer, so let's go for an experiment. I will clap my hands in a moment. And then I will say one word. And you try not to understand the word. You understand the experiment? I clap my hands. I say a word. I clap again and ask you, did you understand the word? And everybody of you will understand the word. No chance to avoid it. Okay? Banana. Anybody in this room who did not understand this noise, this sound? Of course, we cannot help. We understand it. And if we judge other people, yeah, and that is in the wise book, what we call Bible, do not judge so that you not be judged, right? If we judge other people, we experience a judgmental person. And we not only think that somebody else, my neighbor, is a judgmental person, what I want to avoid. When I train myself to be a judgmental person, because I'm judging over and over, what do I think of myself? What is my self-evaluation, self-esteem? So speaking is directly flowing into our mind and brain and is creating neurological structures, what we know today. We become the judgmental person or the loving person, the funny person, when we radiate such words through our mouth. And I think that is not widely known. And for example, Agirula, my dear wife, and me, we're still learning curve, not ending learning curve. We started some time ago, say a year or so from now. When we are here working together, sometimes it's really a lot of efforts over the day, 8, 9, 10 hours in the business. And by noon we say, oh, honey, tonight we go out for dinner and eventually to the cinema. Yeah. And we are happy to do it 11:30 or 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. And in the evening we get so tired. Guess what? Earlier we said, okay, no, we are so tired. No, we do it another day, but we stop that. We go anyway. If we said it, we are doing it. You can sleep in the cinema. That's not a problem. There is a very nice seat and you can really be, and nobody would disturb you. Yeah, just sleep in the cinema. That's fine. But the thing is, the rule behind it is do what you say. Do what you say. I would not hurt any person on the planet if I want to go to exercise in the evening and I'm not doing it. I would not hurt you or anybody else. Simply my own awareness would be hurt. Oh, Jürgen is saying something I'm not doing, so don't believe him. And that's, of course, judgmental. And that's what happens with other people when they say, oh, on the weekend, I will go for exercise. And you ask your colleague, huh? How was exercise? Ah, no time. What do you think? Do you respect her or him, especially for not doing what she says or what he says? And that's the same with us. Our self-worth, the experience of our value is dropping. Yeah, but when I tell you, yeah, we had once we have been so tired and the only cinema movie available was a late movie, 11 in the night till 1 o'clock or so. And we were completely dead. That's a nice story to tell. And you're proud of yourself. Yeah. And so don't love your neighbor, only love yourself. Don't respect your neighbor, only respect yourself. and take yourself in a positive way to be important. Yeah, not to be the most important person in the world, of course, but important enough to be honest to yourself, do what you say, and begin the day eventually with a wonderful sentence. Hey, what a wonderful morning. So happy to be alive, or whatever. And that's what my wife tells me every morning when she wakes up with me. It's not every time, but okay. So that was a few thoughts on the words we speak. I think it's the most relevant words our ears can hear. Yeah. And we can hold accountable on our words. I would not be held accountable on anybody's words, right? But on my own words. So very important stuff, what's coming out of our mouth.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome, Jürgen. Thank you so much. Actually, in the good book, as you call it,
Yeah, the good book.
there's a term called "let your yes be yes and your no be no."
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, and it's so isn't it's so simple, right? To think about it, right? It's so simple. Your yes should be yes, no means no. But yet, I hate to say it, you brought politicians, even leaders, right? Leaders don't do that, and it's thank you for the reminder. And we it's very hard for us to make other people accountable, but we can be accountable to ourselves. So before we commit, there are occasions, but make sure we know, and setting up that expectation. We were just talking about the business that we're starting in abroad, and one thing that I want to set up is expectation, right? So set the expectation correctly. So what is that? Over deliver but under promise, right? Under promise, over deliver, right? That's the key to do that. Thank you, Jürgen. So I just want to put my own quote there, not because I need to hear it. Maybe I do need to hear it. Your words reflect your heart. Your heart is constantly listening to your words. It's almost like a cycle, right? And what you speak, you will hear, and then it'll come out again. So be careful what you repeat to yourself. Okay, open up. Anybody want to give any input, reflection? Go ahead, Andre.
Yes, thank you for those words, Jürgen. I am a huge believer of positive affirmations, and I find that when I start my day with them, and I have a routine that I do in the mornings, I find that sets the pace for the day, as he said. And I'm part of why I'm thankful for this group, Dan, is because we're in day 19 now. Now this has become a habit with, I think, all of us, which is why we're so afraid of what happens after day 31 when you've gotten us into this habit, and then you're going to snatch it away. But that's a whole nother story. The positive affirmations, I think I'm a firm believer in, and I think that does set the pace for your day, and it sets the pace for your heart. It affects how you're going to speak to people throughout the day. It affects how you're going to react to that car that cuts you off on the freeway when you're heading out. And so I encourage and agree with everything you said, Jürgen, and everything that's in the book, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. Good reflection. Anybody else? Arthur, go ahead. Oh, you're on mute, Arthur. Let me unmute you. There we go. You good?
Okay, I'm unmuted. Okay. Yeah, I would just, I'm a firm believer of trying to get rid of self-limiting beliefs. And when you added the component of not only having those self-limiting beliefs, but then verbalizing them, which even gives them even more power, that really struck with me because, again, a lot of times I say, okay, well, I think about just the belief, but once you empower that belief by verbalizing it, I think it makes it all that much more dangerous. So as Andre was saying, not only do you want to not verbalize it, but then suffocate it with positive affirmations and things that will keep you on the right track. So again, I think this helped me to realize that I can't just kill the self-belief. I got to replace it with some positive affirmation as well.
Awesome, Arthur. Thank you again. Yes, like in the morning, I think Jürgen mentioned it earlier. Reflect ourselves, right? I mean, do we wake up and say, "Oh Lord, good morning," or is it, "Good morning, Lord"? It's like a different, same word, but different attitude, right? I think that's how you set up the day. Jonathan, you were saying something.
This is a very interesting subject, because throughout my life, I tend to slow in speaking, not slow in speaking, meaning that I don't speak a lot, because I've learned throughout my life that so many times I speak too quickly without thinking what you gotta say. And I learned that by not speaking, it may be better than speaking. And then nowadays that we have computers, and I find myself liking to write more than I speak. When I try to encourage somebody, I have two choices. One, just pick up the phone and call them, or the other one is to text them or email them. I find myself communicate better because I slow myself down and I think about what I'm going to write and what word to use to encourage others. So I don't know whether or not this is good or not, how to change myself to speak better spontaneously. That's my thing that I want to try to work on. But writing is my preferred way of communication or to express myself. That's it.
Wow, that's awesome, Jonathan. And again, I think we're given different gifts. I can tell you, I am not a writer, right? The way, if you know me, you talk to me a lot. That book sounded like me talking. I think it was somebody said, "Man, I can really hear you coming from that book," And so different people has different gifts, right? And then, but I think the challenge is, I think what Jonathan was saying, also alluded to, is you are willing to kind of grow even on that part. I can see from the first time I met you, Jonathan, until now, God is working tremendously, and you're impacting so many people. And I want to really thank you for allowing yourself. So anybody else? Go ahead, Tammy.
So one of the things that just came to mind right now when Jonathan was talking about is, long before books were made, people used to tell stories. So even before the words were written, we had to train our minds to think about what was being spoken. And I think that's a skill that many of us don't have anymore, because words are not being spoken to us. With technology being around, there's so much busyness around, and it's a lot of times it's really hard for me to even sit and think about the words I want to say. So I love how Jürgen said that sometimes we just need to sit. This is how I interpret it. Sometimes we just need to sit just for a little while so that we can reflect on the words that are going to come out of our mouths, speak. And that's a learned skill that we have to learn, because I know sometimes I don't have that learned skill. But if we pause just for a couple of minutes, I like the Dan where he says 3, 2, 1, just pause and allow your brain to make that connection between your brain and what comes out first. But sitting and reflecting is important before we speak, because like everyone said, the positive affirmation, I love what Arthur says, change the affirmation so your brain processes it different. That's just something that we need to learn to reflect upon. And like Andre and everyone says, waking up early in the morning and committing to this dance time of reflection, it's really had a positive force change in my life. And I'm sure it's changed in a lot of people's lives. So we don't know what's going to happen on the 31st, but Dan, you need to write a new book to get us all together. You have the material, just do it.
I do have a lot of the materials. And yes, we don't know yet. Can't let my yes be yes, as I don't know. Jürgen, you want to say something?
Tammy, you and you other guys, we all are writing the next book, right?
Oh, I like that.
Every day.
That's
for 30 days. Oh, yeah, it's only 30 days in September.
That's right. And that's, Jürgen, you are so right. I think I shared it somewhere. This compilation of what I sent to 857 people. I used to, send text, to, it grew to 857 people. And I go, I can't handle it anymore, man. I mean, Facebook thought I was a bot, a robot. And I don't know if that was a compliment. I was blocked. I took a screenshot and I sent it to people. I don't know that I should be proud of that. They thought I was a bot because I sent so many at that time. So anyway, but whatever the reason is, Jürgen is right. You have a book inside of you that you can share to people, not to make money, but if you can make money with it, great. I didn't, maybe. And so, but here's the thing, right? Because especially those of you that are in business, right? It is a lot easier to give a book than a business card, right? Now, here's the thing. The business card, I don't know about you, I have a confession to make. I throw away business cards. If not, I shove it in my drawer right there. I think I have about 2,000 business cards. I hate to say it, I think I have some of you guys' business cards. But I think giving a book will impact people's life, right? So last chance. Anybody else want to add anything? Go ahead, Andre.
I just want to touch on something Jonathan and Tammy said, which and Jürgen kind of said it too. Silence sometimes is golden. Sometimes you say a lot more in your silence than you do in your speaking. And so, we said, count down 3, 2, 1 before you say something. And Jonathan says he listens. And Jonathan is a really good listener. Jonathan, and you can see the wheels turning in his head while he's listening. But silence makes people uncomfortable. And that's why we feel like we have to fill in the gap by always speaking. But sometimes you say a lot more with your silence than you do, especially if what comes out of your mouth is not worth it. So I just wanted to say that, yes, we speak about speaking, but as we talk about speaking and the words, we should also cherish silence sometimes also. Mm-hmm. So that's it.
I think you're right. Uncomfortable. Go ahead, Jonathan.
One quick one. That reminds me of something that I heard before. If you don't have any nice thing to say, don't say anything at all. So that's it.
That's a good word of wisdom. All right. And I just want to acknowledge people that's online. And Feng, I'll tell you, you've been watching since day one. And Jeannie and Nancy, I know both of you are watching. Linda, you always very supportive. Jose, can't figure out where you are, but I'm sure somewhere in Europe. Jose will be speaking, I think, next week. And Andy, Sam, thank you again. And again, if you have any input, if you have some kind of a takeaway, I do encourage you to post live video. And a lot of you are not comfortable with it. I do 3 live video by 7 a.m. on 3 different groups, right? So it's good. It's just how you bless people. All right. Thank you again. And I just want to close in prayer. Lord, we want to thank you again for reminding us, number one, the words that we use. And sometimes it's not just the words, maybe the text, the writing, it will impact people, but more also importantly, impact us. We are created in your image. And a lot of times we speak as if we are your cursed, Lord. And we just want to ask you to remind us that we are, this is who you said we are, that we are your masterpiece, not a junk, but yet we speak to ourselves as we are junk. We want to thank you again for Jürgen reminding us who we are and how we speak, how we can impact others. As we go today, teach us to speak positively toward ourselves and toward others. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. I will see you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m. and we'll have the honor to have Arthur. Right, Arthur? All right, man. Okay, I will see you guys. Bless you. Arthur, I'll call you right back after this. All right, I'll ping you. Thanks, guys.